If you are a point guard, I mean, like Andrew was saying before, point guard's the most important position on the floor. If you have a guy at that position who isn't capable of making good decisions, that's going to be what your team does, and all of those bad decisions are what happened to Oklahoma last year. I didn't think Oklahoma belonged in the tournament last year.
That would be like Ryan
they
Leaf,
won the
a team's
first game
starting
barely,
quarterback,
and then they were out in the second round.
I'm pretty sure they lost the first round.
No, they barely won the first round.
Well,
no.
I'm pretty sure they lost.
No, they got knocked off by Rhode Island and Danny Hurley.
Yeah.
Bobby Hurley.
You're right.
So like I said,
they won the national championship.
4-12,
the conference championship barely at the end of it. That's why they got in.
But we're talking a 4-12 finish for a team that was a top 10 team in the first half of the season. I don't know where they
You turn on Sports Center, it was just Trae Young.
Yeah,
everywhere.
everything.
And you're right, though. They all forgot about it.
He was the player of the year. In November, he was the player of the year.
He wasn't there anymore. Right. It wasn't like anything else.
It was just he vanished. And
SC top 10, FC top 10, SC, who are you?
Yeah. But that I mean, how do you justify that as, like I said, in November, he was everybody's player of the year. By the time March rolled around, was he even in the top 10? Was he even in the conversation?
No.
But how does that guy stay?
Because the more he kept going, the more he kept going, people were like, oh, he's Jimmer Fredette, but he's the college Jimmer, and he's the Golden State championship Steph Curry. And I'm like,
No.
He's the NBA Jimmer.
It's like it's not all like
college Steph Curry.
Doesn't all work out that way.
No, it really doesn't. Now, quickly before we move on, I just want to point out the NBA is auctioning off J.R. Smith Game 1 jersey. As of Sunday night, it was going for.
Who's going to want that?
It was actually going for $1,500. Like there would have been a bid of $1,500.
What a waste of money that is.
So the slogan is what? You too can make a mistake in this jersey.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Toronto Raptors have made every single player on the roster available, attempting to trade into the top 10 to pick Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, point guard / shooting guard out of Kentucky. Now, I didn't believe that he should be a top 15 pick, but it was still very fun to watch him play this past season. As a UNC fan, I saw them play Kentucky. He's a very great shooter. It would be really cool to watch him play. I just don't know if top 10 pick worthy. If the Knicks do decide to reach, I'll put this out there for 1 second. If the Knicks do decide to make a reach and pick a player, as a basketball fan, I would not be upset if they picked Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I would not be upset. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, the Knicks just reached. How can they take him? Because he is a fun player to see.
Could be your 2.
What?
Could be your 2.
Yeah, he could be your 2. He just needs to add a little bit of muscle.
How do you pronounce his last name?
For sure.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, okay. I think of some puns for the front of the paper.
What's it called? My prediction for the Brooklyn Nets and their pick. My prediction is they do trade that 29th overall selection and Spencer Dinwiddie. They probably trade it to Denver. They pick up 14 or 15. I'm not sure which one it is. And Kenneth Faried. They work their magic, possibly and hopefully take on Chandler Parsons. And the number 4, they have to send something over there, so they might send DeMar Carroll or something like that to make salaries match.
They have cap room,
but
they could absorb the Parsons contract easily.
Not fully, because they only have about $16 million in cap space, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in the NBA right now, they're one of only a couple teams that have that much space.
Right.
The Lakers have an exorbitant amount, which is very unheard of for that to go on. Now, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the home stretch right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. And we've just spent almost an hour and 20 minutes talking about basketball. It's time to put that aside and to move on and talk about the other sports that are going on. Your favorite, Tim Leonard's absolute favorite website, his favorite website, he loves them the most, Bleacher Report. Earlier today...
I thought he was going to say Pornhub.
Oh, my God.
That's something that would be said on ESPN, by the way. When we get up there, I got to remind you something that they said on ESPN today. Oof, it's absolutely good stuff. Tim Leonard's apparently second favorite website, Bleacher Report, posted an article earlier today claiming the New York Mets are more open to trading Jacob deGrom than they are Noah Syndergaard. Now,
yeah, I can see that.
That would be a mistake, and I will tell you why.
I see both sides. I know where you're going, but I see
I know where he's going
sides.
Yeah.
Where am I going?
You're going to that DeGrom is the better pitcher.
He has more control.
But he's also a few months away from being 30.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's the two sides.
No, I'm not even touching that. Jacob deGrom right now is pulling a Felix Hernandez, and I'll tell you why. Felix Hernandez had one of the record-wise, just win-loss record, one of the worst a Cy Young winner has ever had.
This is why the win-loss.
Yeah, like 8 wins or something like
win-loss
that.
Felix Hernandez was at 13-12 when he won the 2010 AL Cy Young Award.
Yes, thank you, Sabermetrics.
13-12, but he had a 2.27 ERA. He had 34. He started 34 games. He had 6 complete games, 1 shutout. He logged
6 complete games. Wow,
which is insane. Especially now.
That was
a couple years ago before the bullpen started coming in. But he pitched 249 and 2/3 innings, 17 home runs given up, 70 walks. He had. The amount of strikeouts he had, it was an absolute domination of a season. He clearly deserved the Cy Young that year.
What year was this?
2010.
Was this the year he threw his no-hitter, or was that later on?
No, it
was actually, he threw a perfect game, wasn't it?
Yeah, perfect game.
He threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
Now, Jacob deGrom right now, through 14 games.
Oh, yeah, that was in 2012.
Is 4-2 with a 1.55 ERA. He's only 4. He's 4-2, by the way. He's got a winning record.
He's got a winning record.
The entire media makes it seem like Jacob deGrom has a losing record.
If you watch the games, he was 4-0, and he should have been like 10-0.
He should be like 10-0.
Jacob deGrom, I believe it was.
Yeah, I agree.
He right now could easily be 14 starts. He could easily be 12-2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easily be 12-2. Now, right now, I'm looking at a stat. Most starts allowing 1 or 0 runs and his team losing since single season began in 1893. Jacob deGrom is tied, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, which everyone knows is like, they're the Holy Grail.
That's the Bible.
They are the Bible. He's tied with 5 other players allowing, most starts allowing 1 or 0 runs and his team losing. And don't forget, people, it's June 18th.
Yeah,
we have an entire rest of the season to go. Mm-hmm. These people did it over an entire season. Jacob deGrom, 7 so far. Jeff Samardzija in 2014, 7. Roger Clemens in 2005. Tom Glavine in 2003. Don Drysdale in 64. And Roger Craig in 63.
Surprised no one runs on that.
All with 7. And we have, like you said, 3 months left. Mm-hmm. This stat will only increase. And the Mets are doing something. The Mets are doing something that no team has ever done before. They're challenging every worst record in the record book.
Yeah, I heard one today. It was like they're the first team to be... It took them the least amount of time in history to go from 10 games over 500 to 10 games under 500.
Yeah.
They're writing history.
Yeah.
They went, I believe it was like 10 runs over 100 innings. Like, that was also a record, like the least amount of runs to score over an X amount of time. Like, they were really, really doing bad. Now, Jacob deGrom, 4-2 with a 1.55 ERA, 14 starts, 87 and a third innings pitch. He's only given up 15 earned runs, 17 in total. 17 runs the entire season, 4 home runs, 23 walks.
And
23 walks.
And 3 of those came in that one game after his elbow.
Oh, yeah, in that Philly game. In that game in Philadelphia,
he is playing an absolute...
And the other one was Brett Gardner.
Great game.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good, and I really, really hope he wins Cy Young this year.
Yeah, I do too. I like Jacob deGrom as a guy, as a person. I'm not a Met fan. Like, we're all Yankee fans. He's got to be the clear-cut
front runner. I'm a massive Yankee fan.
You see what he's doing, and you're just like, that guy's something
I feel
special.
so bad for him.
Have you ever watched the Met game?
Of course.
Okay.
My dad, we had like partial season tickets years ago. So like we used to go to Mets games, I wouldn't say all the time.
No, I mean like this year on TV. You watch Jacob deGrom when he comes out of the game after the 7th inning or the 8th inning. He almost looks like he wants to cry when he watches the bullpen, like giving up.
I wouldn't
be surprised.
He's like sitting there. He's like, you gotta be kidding. I can't believe that they're doing it again.
By the way, this guy, he's a great-looking human being. So this guy's got a lot of stuff going for him. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. I would not be surprised if he, at home, like every night after one of these starts, he just sits in bed and cries, like all alone. The Mets are destroying this man's career.
He's not all alone. He's married, and he's got a baby kid or baby.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like he locks himself in a room away from them. Like
he has a special padded room where he just runs in.
Yes, he probably has a mental asylum room. That's how bad the Mets have done him.
He's probably at night sticking his head in the daughter's diaper pail, and then he feels, all right, now I feel better.
Now I feel no. He's like, now I feel at home. I can't go to sleep without feeling at home.
So I don't know.
It's disturbing to see what the Mets are doing. But on the bright side, the Mets have won 2 straight games, guys.
Yippee.
2 straight
against the other
in Phoenix,
team, against the second worst hitting team in baseball. Like,
and
they do it in Arizona, so nobody realizes it because the games have been starting at 10:15.
The Mets scored 10 runs combined between those 2 wins.
It's amazing.
Which scored like
amazing.
5 last night, and
5 in the ninth, 5 and 5 the night before, and it took them 6 previous games combined to reach that total. So they're on a 2-game win streak. The season could not be going any better right now for these New York Mets.
Up.
Yeah.
The Astros, though,
they were like 16-31 at one point, but all you gotta look at is they're 2-0 in the last 2.
The Astros are showing them like, no, this. You want to know what a real winning streak looks like? We're at 11 right now,
and do it all on the road.
And we're going to continue this. Now the Astros are doing something that last year's Yankees hoped would happen. They would suck at home because the Yankees could not beat the Astros last year at home. At the Astros'
and the
home.
Astros couldn't beat the Yankees at home.
And the Astros couldn't beat the Yankees at home. Now the Astros this year suck at home and are great on the road.
Yeah, the 10 wins in a row.
This is some weird stuff going on right now. The Astros are absolutely killing it. They're staying hot.
But you know what? I almost put this on Twitter, but I was like, you know what? Let me save it for the radio because it's much needed to be said. The manager for the Astros, what's his name?
AJ
Hinch.
Yeah.
Last year, when the Indians won 22 in a row, American League record for a win streak, comes out and to try and take a shot at them, said, "Well, now they're like a game or 2 better than them. They ended up with the best record." He said, "Well, they had to win 22 in a row to do that, so that's why we're the better team." The Astros still aren't better than the Yankees and Red Sox, and they've had to win 11 straight just to even get like within a game.
Well, because don't forget the Yankees won was like 19 of 22.
No, but I'm saying though, like you don't hear AJ Hinch talking about his team. He's being very humble because he realizes that like they've been in the same boat that the Indians kind of.
Well, it's also once
I thought it was very just like a cheap shot that he took on the Indians. Meanwhile, they set an American League record.
This is a weird thing to but it's a true thing to say. Now that he's won a World Series as a manager, he has a little more. I wouldn't say
credibility.
No, not just credibility, like reserve. Like he's like, okay, now that I've reached this spot, I'm only going to go up from here.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just picking his battles at this point.
No, last year he did that before they won the World Series. That was my point. That last year he took this shot at the Indians because they were now the best team. But he's like, we did it consistently all year. They had to do 22 straight just to get there.
The Yankees and Mariners.
It's just annoying that he's not going to say anything now.
Yankees and Mariners are both very interested in Blue Jays lefty Jay Happ, free agent after the season ends. It would be very nice to see the Yankees get him because they do need pitching and they don't really want to give up.
There might be a division tax on that, but
they don't want to give up everything. But they're not. They wouldn't.
Not for him. No, you probably give up 2 players, one AAA guy and one single A guy.
Yeah, I don't give up a top 10 guy for Jay.
No,
definitely not. But
Brian Cashman wouldn't do that.
No,
he wouldn't do that. Here's an interesting stat. This is actually, I tweeted at the Michael Kay Show on Friday while listening to it about this. Juan Soto officially made his Major League debut May 20th. But after playing a tonight's suspended game, he becomes one of 5 other players to make their debut before their debut.
And he hit a home run today.
Yeah.
The game-winning home run.
So officially this game goes back.
Yeah.
This game goes back to when it officially started. 5 other players in baseball history made their debut and then played in a suspended game, which was before their official debut, and made their debut. Oscar Gamble debuted August 27th, 1969. Ended up on September 2nd. He pinch hit in a game that was June 15th, suspended. Made a debut before debut. Dave Parker debuted July 12th, 1973. On July 26th, 1973, he pinch hit in an April 21st suspended game. The most notable name from the list, Barry Bonds.
Ooh,
on May 30th, 1986, only 3 days after my parents got married, Barry Bonds played in a suspended game from April 20th, resumed in the 14th inning.
Oof,
he pinch hit in the 17th, driving in the winning run. The winning run ended up being the Mets' the current Mets fans' favorite player, Bobby Bonilla.
Was still being paid by the Mets.
Still being paid.
It's almost Bobby Bonilla Day.
And 2 other players, Jeff Reardon and Manny Muniz. 5 players.
I just find that weird that they allow that to happen. Because I know it's supposed to be like the same players in the lineup and everything like that, but I feel like he shouldn't be able to unless people were hurt. I guess that would be the roster change.
It's
Or
the
somebody
way
got
all
traded.
this stuff goes. Is it's just
yeah,
very
but we're
weird.
not close enough to a trade deadline. I don't think they've traded anybody away. It's just weird.